Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Ram Jaya Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Damala Ki. Hare Krishna. I just want to say, I didn't ask to go on here. I was asked by senior devotees and temple authorities. I wouldn't put myself in this position to speak in front of people, my friends, my seniors. So please excuse me. I will read from the Nectar of Devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Science of Bhakti Yoga. Hopefully this is the right book. Further considerations of devotional principles. It is stated in the Tantra Sastra, if you smell the garland which is offered to the deity in the temple, enters into a person's nostril, immediately his bondage to sinful activities becomes cleared. And even if one has no sinful activities, still by smelling such remnants of flowers, one can advance from Mayavadi, impersonalist, to devotee. There are several instances of this, a prime one being the advancement of the four Kumaras. They were impersonalist Mayavadis, but after smelling the remnants of the flowers and incense in the temple, they turned to become devotees. From the above verse, it appears that the Mayavadis or impersonalists are more and less condemned. They are not pure. It is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, one who has not washed off all sinful reactions cannot be a pure devotee. A pure devotee has no more doubts about the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. Thus, he engages himself in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. A similar statement is in the Agastya Samhita. Just to purify the impurities of our nostrils, we should try to smell the remnants of the flowers offered to Krishna in the temple. Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Ki Jai. I also heard somewhere else that the four Kumaras got the scent of tulasi that was offered to the lotus feet of the deities of Lord Vishnu. The reasons why they became devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Naraskricham Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vasham Tatum Jayam Udirayet. Reading from the 7th canto, chapter 10, verse 5, chapter entitled Prahlad, the best among the exalted devotees. Shashanano na vai richa samini ashisha atmana na swami richacha swayam ichan yo dati chashisha ashashano na vaibricha swamini ashisha atmanaha na swami mrichayata swamyam ichanyo rati chashisha ashashano na vaibricha swamini ashisha atmanaha na swamin vichayata swamyam Ichanyorati chashisha Ashashano na vibritya Swamini ashishatmana Na swami britchata swamyam Ichanyorati chashisha Ashashano na vibritya Swamini ashishatmana Na swamim britchata swamyam Ichanyorati chishisha Ashashano na vibritya Swamini ashishatmana Swami Mrityata Swamyam Ichanyorati Chashisha Ashashanaha. A person who desires in exchange for service. Na, not. Vai, indeed. Raja, a qualified servant, a pure devotee of the Lord. Swamini, from the master. Ashisha, material benefit. Atmanaha, for personal sense gratification. Na, no. Swami, the master. Brijyata, from the servant. Swamyam, the prestigious position of being the master. Ichan, desiring. Ya, any such master who. Rati, bestows. Cha, also. Shisha, material profit. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A servant who desires material profits from his master is certainly not a qualified servant or a pure devotee. Similarly, a master who bestows benedictions upon his servant because of a desire to maintain a prestigious position as master is also not a pure master. Responsibly, please. A servant who desires material profits from his master is certainly not a qualified servant or a pure devotee. Similarly, a master who bestows benedictions upon his servants because of a desire to maintain a prestigious position as master is also not a pure master. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kasmai tais tai vrittagyana prabhadyante niya devata. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods. The demigod cannot become master, for the real master is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demigods, to keep their prestigious positions, bestow upon the worshippers whatever benedictions the worshippers want. For example, once it was found that the Asura took a benediction from Lord Shiva by which the Asura would be able to kill someone simply by placing his hand on that person's head. Such benedictions are possible to receive from the demigods. If one worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, the Lord will never offer him such condemned benedictions. On the contrary, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.88, Yashaham anu grinami harishe tad danam shanai. If one is too much materialistic, but at the same time wants to be a servant of the Supreme Lord. The Lord, because of his supreme compassion for the devotee, takes away all his material opulences and obliges him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj distinguishes between the pure devotee and the pure master. The Lord is the pure master, the supreme master, whereas an unalloyed devotee with material motives is the pure servant. One who has materialistic motivations cannot become a servant, and one who is unnecessarily bestows benedictions upon his servant to keep his own prestigious position is not a real master. Om Gana Timirandasya Ganajana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadi Shatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the translation again: a servant who desires material profits from his master is certainly not a qualified servant or pure devotee. Similarly, a master who bestows benedictions upon his servant because of a desire to maintain a prestigious position as master is also not a pure master. Hare Krishna. So I think I'm just going to explain a little bit about Prahlad Maharaj. So we have William here, and he probably doesn't know where we are and what we're talking about. So Prahlad Maharaj he's a devotee, but he's like the son of a demon. He lived a very complicated life. You know, his father was trying to stop him from becoming a devotee and punishing him a lot. He got instructed in the womb by one sage. And just up to now, we've just read one chapter where Prahlad's offering some very nice prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, who is one of the forms of Krishna. And what had happened is Hiranyakashipu was asking Prahlad, where is God now? Where is your God? Is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, he's everywhere. He's in that pillar. So just to prove his devotee right, you know, to make sure that he wasn't proven wrong, he became manifest in this half lion, half man form, and he killed Hiranyakashipu. You know, he had some benedictions from the demigods, as we heard in the purport there. Sometimes the demigods give benedictions to demons that are trying to attain some, you know, some power. So he got some boons from Lord Brahma that he couldn't be killed in so many ways. But the Lord, wanting to please his devotee and the demigod, decided to kill Hiranyakashipu in such a way that he didn't break the boons that were given by Lord Brahma. So yeah, then the only one that could pacify Nrsingadev, because he was so angry, was Prahlad Maharaj. So he offered some prayers. So now we're on chapter 10. The prayers have been offered, and Prahlad Maharaj is finishing off, saying some nice things. And we're at this verse now where we're talking about the master and the servant. Prahlad Maharaj is talking about the distinction between a materialistic master and a materialistic servant, and a spiritual master and a spiritual servant. So a materialistic relationship between servant and master is one of give and take. It's like a businessman, you know. He's going to give something and he needs to receive something back. So there's no connection, there's no love there, you know. It's all a give and take relationship. Whereas a spiritual relationship is actually pure. There's no motives, there's no material motives there. They just want to please the master. And similarly, the master will also want to please the servant, not by giving benedictions, but by giving him service, you know, giving him service so he can be happy in this exchange. Because the exchange has to be of love for it to be a spiritual relationship. That's very important. Without this love, then it becomes contaminated, or, you know, it's influenced by the modes of nature. And the modes of nature, which are modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness. I think most of us know about these modes of nature. Just for my own benefit, I will again mention them. And so in the mode of ignorance, we are covered by madness, and we become very lazy and very sleepy. We don't want to be active in the mode of passion. We are born from desires, and we have lots of desires, and we're longing for things. Mode of goodness, there's a lot of happiness, and there's knowledge, and you're very peaceful, equipoised, stuff like this. And these are the modes of nature. So even within service, when we're serving someone and something that we call devotional service, there's also the modes of nature. So we can do devotional service within these modes as well. But devotional service is actually pure, it's uncontaminated, but it's according to the person's modes of nature, what modes they're in, as to how they will perform this devotional service. This was mentioned by Prabhupada in one of the purports of Canto 3, chapter 29. And soon I'm going to read a few verses from that book, just so I'm not speculating and making it up. Yeah, I think I'll just go to that now and go on from there. So I've got that just here. Canto 3 in chapter 29 it's Kapila Dev, Lord Kapila Dev, which is one of the incarnations of Krishna. He's like a Muni, he's a very, very advanced teacher. He's speaking to his mother, Devahuti, about devotional service. So he's actually speaking about, I think, Sankhya Yoga or Sankhya philosophy, which is the analytical study of the material world. So after Devahuti's heard all of this, she asks, well, what about devotional service, which is not material, it's spiritual, She wanted to know about these things. So, I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're on, text 7, right? Yeah, text 7 now. Okay, so the translation. Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor. Text 8. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, who is a separatist, is considered in the mode of darkness. The mode of darkness is the mode of ignorance. It's just another way of presenting it. So we can see this is actually a very poisonous way to perform devotional service. I was listening to one class yesterday, and the senior devotee explained and was saying that devotional service performed in the mode of ignorance has a poisonous effect on our heart and also within the environment that we're living in. It's very important that we try to raise ourselves above this mode of nature, at least to the mode of passion, which is described in the next verse. The worship of deities in the temple by a separatist with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion. This is quite clear. We want to get some fame and name. We want to be seen as, maybe seen as some kind of scholar. We want to do our devotional service so people see us as very elevated. This is devotional service in the mode of passion, which is above the mode of ignorance. It's a move forward. It's not pure. Of course, it's not pure, but it's definitely a step forward. We should always take baby steps. We're not like trying to jump over things. We never like try to jump from the mode of ignorance to the mode of goodness. We have to go through the process. And it's very important. Otherwise, we risk falling down very fast. Next, text 10. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inebrities of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. So when we finally get to the mode of goodness, everything's very nice. You hear this, Adokshija probably talks about sweet balls coming from the sky, and you're like, Harry ball. So this can happen, and you get very happy, and you kind of forget why we're doing it. Then you've achieved some happiness. You can do everything very well, But we don't want to get stuck on this mode of goodness. We also want to try to get past this, try to get past this mode of goodness. There's some things within the mode of goodness that may seem good, So if we do our devotional service as according to duty, this is still in the mode of goodness, And also, I heard one devotee, one Prabhupada disciple, he was saying that devotional service performed through gratitude is still in the mode of goodness. It's not that we should not perform service because we're grateful as well. This is a very high level of devotional service. Trying to bypass this is not such a good idea. If we're not grateful and we don't do any service, and that's not so good. But yeah, so that's a interesting point that I found. We should definitely still try to develop and go up through the modes, not stay in like one thing or try to jump over. So next, text 11, which now is mentioning pure devotional service. This is Bhakti Yoga. So the manifestation of the unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord. This is a very exalted form of devotional service, and it's not something that I really want to try to speak on, because I don't know anything about it. I just know what I've heard. But something just came to my mind, and we have the goal, the prayojan, we have the process, the abhidheya, and we have the relationship, the sambandha. So it's important that we know the process and we know the goal. So that's why we read about these things. We read about these exalted things within devotional service. We hear these pastimes, which we think, well, how am I ever going to get to that? It's so high. We hear about these things because we need to know the goal. We need to know where we're going. If we don't know the goal, we don't know the process, then we just get lost. It's really important that we know. So I would like to share a few more verses, if that's okay. That's okay. Maybe you may have heard them. I've just got them on my phone because I didn't have time to get all the books out. So there's one quite famous verse in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the book we just read from, the Nectar of Devotion. You may know it. This is Anyala Bilashita Sunyam Janakama Ananvitam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shiranam Bhakti Uttama. The translation: when first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires. Knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruit of action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So this shows us first-class devotional service. This is the highest goal. This is the prayojan that we're trying to attain. And as this is a long process. It's coming from Rupa Goswami, who is one of our founders. He's taught by Lord Chaitanya. He wrote this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so we knew the science of devotional service. And this verse is very central in our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. It's very important that we learn it. Actually, I'm still trying to learn it myself. Yeah. And there was another verse I wanted to share from the Shikshashtakam, which is the 8 prayers shared by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which another one which shows the qualification or the qualities of a servant, a pure servant. Na danam na janam na sundarim kavitam vagyagadisha kamaye mamma jamani jamanishware bhagavatad bhaktiya hoitaki tvai. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in a flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. This is Mahaprabhu's talking about this very high devotional service. So, it'd be nice to learn these prayers as well, so we can know where the aim is going. Shri Shri Karanatai Mahaprabhu Shashi Ki Jai. Oh. We see our deities as well. We can take inspiration from them to carry on towards the goal of pure love of God and serving the masters, serving our spiritual masters, serving our senior devotees. as genuinely, sincerely as possible, in at least in the mode of goodness, if we can, and then eventually get out of the mode of goodness and go to the Shura Sattva, as it's called. Yeah, I think I'll stop now, ask for any questions, because Bhagavatam should be a discussion and not a lecture. I'm not very good at lecturing, so if you got any questions, that'd be very nice. All right, Alan Prabhu, Hari Ball.
Thank you for that. That was very nice. I just have a question. You were quoting from the third canto, and it was saying in the modes of ignorance and passion, someone who's a separatist.
Separatist, yeah.
Yes. Can you let me know what that means? What
Yeah.
it is talking about, please? Thank you.
A separatist is someone that's intentions is different to the Lord. And usually this is within the mode of ignorance and passion. It's quite prominent in that chapter. There's a description of the separatist. Prabhupada goes into detail in the purports about not being a separatist, trying to keep ourselves in oneness, with the desire and with the instructions of the spiritual master of Krishna. So this is one understanding of oneness as well. And so if we're separate, then we're not one. We have to keep our intentions, our actions, our behavior one with what the spiritual masters, what our authorities are telling us. If we're just connecting with Prabhupada, then we can just take what he's writing in his books, in his purports, and we can just follow that. If we have a spiritual master, we follow him. That's the process. I hope that's clear, because I've heard a lot about this separatism, and I hope trying to churn it out. Follow up.
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you, Prabhu. There was also, you'd mentioned about monism, and you mentioned about oneness. And then, can you just sort of explain the problems that we can have with this idea of everything being one, but also being separate? So what is it about the philosophy? How should we understand our position in relation to the Supreme
Lord Chaitanya has the philosophy of Chincha Veda Veda Tattva, which is simultaneous, one and different. Generally, we don't have this oneness philosophy in our like teachings, but as we hear in the third canto, Prabhupada talks about this oneness of intention, this oneness of desire. This is the oneness that we have. Oneness doesn't mean that we're merging and we lose our identity. This is not oneness. This is Mayavadi. This means that we don't have any individuality. We can be one with the spiritual master and his desires and intentions, but we can still have our individuality. We still have our own ways of applying the instructions and the desires of the spiritual master. Something like we can see with Prabhupada's disciples. There's different moods from each disciple. It's not like everyone's just like a cardboard cutout, they take some mood, but they're still at one with Prabhupada, one aspect of him. So there's one aspect of oneness that I can understand. And if you want to know more, read the third canto, read the purports in there. They're very nice. Chapter 29. I know a few classes as well. If you're interested, I can send them. You can read them. There's one senior devotee that talks a lot on it. Is there anything else? Well, as I mentioned about Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they all had different aspects that they follow. I mean, we should follow everything that we can as best of our ability. If something sticks out to us, not that we pick and choose what we're going to follow and what not we're going to follow, but there might be some aspect that we really try to follow as much as we can. What's the most important bit? To remember Krishna and never forget. I think that's the most important. Everything that we do should help us remember Krishna and never forget him. This is sadhana. And if anything that we're doing makes us forget our connection with Krishna or the spiritual master, then this is something that we shouldn't be doing. And Prabhupada's given us so much, the morning program, from 4:30 all the way up until, whenever we go to sleep. We've got like a constant engagement. We have the morning program, we have service, we have Prashadam, we have Japa, we have evening programs. There's so much to do. We can always remember Krishna. We follow what Prabhupada said. There's what is written and there's what is given us. And practically in our ISKCON movement, we have so much to keep us focused on Krishna. Is that okay, Jainanda? Is there a follow-up? No? Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your beautiful class.
10 minutes.
So you were mentioning about you should have a gradual progress to the moons of nature, but then at the same time we should also be aware what is our goal.
Yeah.
So how to make this sort of like this path of study balanced? That we not kind of like jumping too much over, seeing like just that's the goal. We're gonna only want to get there, and also at the same time, be gradual in Krishna consciousness. Kind of like how to make it balance.
Yes, that's a tough question. I think something we're still trying to work out. We approach our senior devotees and ask them for advice. We have mentors that give us advice. We have problems. We ask, what should we do in this situation? We take shelter. This is such an important part. We should take shelter of the devotees. Also the deities and Krishna. But take shelter of the devotees. Once we take shelter, then we can accept what they say. We can take that in. And that will help us keep a balance, because they'll help us keep a balance, If we try to create something from our own mind, then it's probably going to be contaminated or it's going to be wrong, Well, yeah, we can follow someone, we can take shelter of someone which we trust and love. This is very important, that we trust and love them, and then we can actually follow their instructions. Because if we don't have that proper connection and they give some instructions, we're not going to take it, and they're like maybe rather wasting their time, or there's some offense will be committed or something like this, So yeah, we have to know the goal, we have to know the process, and we have to line them up as well, right? And the only way we're going to do that is from reading what Prabhupada's given us in his books, by asking senior devotees, by being humble and submissive as well. Is very, very important. We don't have the humility to accept what's been told to us. We're not going to be able to take it. It's just going to go over our heads. So we're going to think we're better than that or something like this. And then we're never going to advance through the modes of nature. Yeah. Is that okay? Follow up.
I have another one. So can you explain again, maybe what is the goal? What is the prayojan?
Prayojan.
Yeah.
Prem prayojan.
Yeah.
Prem prayojan. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the goal is Krishna prema. We talk about this every morning. We chant the 10 offenses to the holy name. We say what is the goal? We're doing all this to attain Krishna prema. So that's the basics, I guess. There's so many details, but we're trying to attain this pure love of God. This pure love of Krishna, and the only way to do it is through following our spiritual master. He's got that love, and he's going to give that. We sing about it every morning in Viravastika. Yeah. So it's the only way we're going to do it is by following what he's given us, following the process that we've got from Prabhupada. Somehow or another. Somehow or other. Is that okay?
Yeah. The question is in the today's verse, it says to bestows benediction. Master that bestows benediction is not a pure master.
Yeah.
What does it mean by that?
You know what a benediction is? It's like a favor. A benediction is like kind of a favor, but it's a bit more than a favor. So someone could make a benediction that you're going to become a millionaire, right? Okay, I give you a benediction, you'll become a millionaire. If it was like a demigod, then they could fulfill that. Yeah, or you could have a benediction that's, you're going to get pure devotional service. So when a master bestows a benediction, it's talking in this about Prahlad Maharaj is talking more about the material aspect of bestowing benedictions. So a master that bestows a material benediction is not a proper master. Yeah. Is that clear? Give, to give. Bestows is to give, yeah.
So he
He gives
uses
something.
like for a bad purpose, like
Yeah.
to ask Brahma or demigods for.
Yeah, like in the purport, we see Prabhupada saying, for example, once it was found that an Asura took a benediction from Lord Shiva, by which the Asura could be able to kill someone simply by placing his hand on the person's head. I don't remember the names, but the pastime goes as this person is doing austerities to get a benediction from Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva likes it a lot, so he gives him the benediction. So this person gets the benediction that whoever he touches on the head, they will die straight away. So Lord Shiva then gets chased by this person. He's trying to touch him on the head, to kill him. So he kind of backfired, But this is a materialistic benediction. And he bestowed that upon him. Yeah, and we also see, like, I mentioned at the start of Hiranyakashipu, got lots of benedictions from Lord Brahma, materialistic benedictions as well. Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah? You sure? I'm not sure. Okay. Anything else? No? No? Okay. Right, that's Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just
You can make a comment as well, you don't have to ask a question.
okay. I was just wondering because like devotional service in the mood of passion and the mood of goodness, kind of a little bit similar. It's just because it's like the difference, I guess, is the in the mood of passion we are looking for material gains, and the mood of goodness we are looking for spiritual gains. So we have still that desire for us, or how's it?
So in the mode of goodness, it's still material, it's still mundane. Bhakti performed in the mode of goodness is still mundane. We're not looking for fame and glory, fame and glory, or fame and name, or we're not looking for opulences. But in the mode of goodness, we're looking for liberation. We're looking for knowledge. I did write it down here 1 second. And a lot of the times we do devotional service to offer it to Krishna so we can gain liberation from that. And liberation doesn't mean I'm going to go to the heavenly planet. So it does. But it can also mean liberation means happiness. So we perform devotional service because we want to be happy, because we heard that devotional service is joyfully performed, right? So maybe we're offering that because, well, if I do this, I'm going to be well situated. And so this is also another way of looking for liberation. So it's still mundane, performing devotional service in the mode of goodness. In terms of the difference between mode of passion and mode of goodness, there's quite a big difference. It was described in the third canto that in the mode of passion, you're still a separatist. Your devotional service is still separate to the Lord's in desire. In the mode of goodness, it could be more aligned, and you're offering the results to Krishna, to the deities. But in the mode of passion, you're doing it for your own cause. Your own. I want to be the center of attention. Like this. So there's quite a big difference, and it's quite a big jump as well. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Any comments? Comments? Anything to share?
Could be that maybe the ones like Karmis are more in mood passion, and the Jnanis are more in mood goodness. Maybe that.
But also, I wouldn't make such a black and white statement, because I think because karma yoga is understood that you're doing some pious stuff, doing devotional service, but you're offering it for your own benefit, right? So that could still be in the mode of goodness, trying to attain some liberation and trying to get some material profit. Jai. Is that it? Anything? Okay. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Iskon Guru ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. Boom.